Good afternoon, Maksu. Thank you for joining today's interview. How are you doing today?
Very good afternoon, Shubho. I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. So, Maksu, before we proceed, can you give a brief introduction about yourself?
Sure. Uh, Myself, Sheikh Maqsood. I belong to Aurangabad. I belong from Aurangabad. So basically, about my education, I passed out my 10th and 12th from Aurangabad itself and Sir Syed College. I passed my graduation and about my professional experience. I have total 5 years of experience. In that, 3 years of experience in tele performance. Currently working as an WFM, and I used to prepare. I am preparing reports, uh, preparing reports and managing real time. And before that, I was working with WNS as an lead associate WFM. So there also I was reporting and managing breaks and uh, working into MIS. That was a part of my job profile, working on reports and all things.
That's great. So, as you mentioned that you have been working on reports. So, what are the different tools have you used to date for managing your reports?
So different tools I have used in there were Avaya, Cirrus, Tableau, Excel. So different types of tools I used to work to prepare different types of reports.
Okay, I guess you have worked extensively on Tableau.
Yes.
Great. So, can you help me with the project that you have worked recently, which required Tableau's implementation?
So we have one project called leave tracker. So when we have there we have a different types of uh, uh, different managers to check whether the uh, agents are taking the leaves, and what types of leave they are taking, and how much is the leave contribution. So we take care of that, and we have created a project including that parameters.
Okay, great. So, what were your roles and responsibilities in that project?
So in that that was a teamwork project. So in that I was checking whether the whatever the reports we are preparing, so they are getting time to time published, and that are created properly with the proper functioning. So I used to take care of that.
Okay, that's great. So, why you are looking for a change at the moment?
um, for better prospect as well as if I get a good opportunity to work with a reputed organization as well as a good I can learn more things with um, I can upgrade myself by learning more things to build up my good career.
That's great. So, as you mentioned that you want to upgrade yourself. So, recently, have you learned new technologies or upgraded your skill sets anyway?
Yeah. So as I good with Tableau as well as I'm learning with the other tools as well. So in that I'm upgrading myself in that sense. It's not only Tableau with other things that help me to grow with Tableau. With SQL also. Actually it is very vast. So I'm daily upgrading myself, learning small things that might increase my knowledge as well as I can help growing. I can implement it to in my projects.
That's lovely. So, what is the version of Tableau that you have worked recently?
It is 2021.4. I'm using 2021 point.
And how many years of experience do you have in Tableau?
Total 5 years of experience I have.
5 years of experience. Right. So since the last 5 years that you are using Tableau, what are the recent changes you have seen in the Tableau's software?
Recent changes, we have seen that we have that graphical view. We can see graphically the view. The latest version we got is that revolving images, that is the revolving graph. We can see it. The visualization is great nowadays.
Okay, great. So where do you see yourself in the next 5 years of time?
Next 5 years, at least 2 levels up from now.
2 levels up, as in, what is your dream?
Designation in a designation. Uh, as of now, I am a Tableau developer, so I would see myself 2 level upper than a Tableau developer with the skills as well as the prosperity.
That's awesome. So now I'll ask you a few technical questions related to Tableau. Okay.
Sure.
So what do you mean by discrete and continuous in Tableau?
Discrete are the values that comes discrete comes under that. It can say you can say it randomly, uh, and continuous is the continuous like the age.
Okay. Okay, fine. So what are the different data types in Tableau that you have worked with?
There are 6 different data types. That is uh, strings, text, uh, boolean, uh, graph, and date time. Date date is there, and date time is there.
So you mentioned strings and texts. Don't you think both of these are same?
They both are same, right? They both are same.
And what are graphs? What is the
Graphs,
data type called graph?
geograph. Oh, sorry. Um, data.
Okay, not a problem. So have you used filters in any of your project?
Yes, I've used filters.
Right. So what are the different types of filters that you have used?
There are also 6 types of filters: extract filter, data filter, and context filter. Um, these are few. I'm not able to recollect
Okay,
right now.
not a problem. What is the difference between, as you mentioned, context filter? Right? What is the difference between extract filter or context filter?
So extract filter is that filter that we can directly filter it from the data source, and the context filter is we can filter it from the dimensions. We can add to the context.
Okay, add to context. Fine. So have you used joins in Tableau?
Yes, I have used joins.
Okay. And have you used data blending?
Yes, yeah, I have used data blending too.
When do we use join and when do we use data blending?
We use data blending when we have different data source, and we can use joins when we have the same data source. For For example, I can explain you in this manner. If I'm working with an Excel, so and again I have to work with an Excel where I can use data joining, and if I'm using Excel and I want to join any other file, add other file, and that is you can say access or text file. So it can be used as for data blending.
Okay, right. So what are the different types of joints that are available?
There are four different types of joints. That is left join, right join, uh, full outer join, left outer, right outer, and full outer join.
So those are three types, right? What is the fourth?
Three types. Sorry.
Have you used inner join?
Yes, I have used inner join.
So that is another type, right? Left, right, full, and inner join.
Right.
Great. So what are calculated fields? And can you give an example that you have used?
Yeah. So calculated fields are the functions which can create uh, in the dimensions or measures. So we can write a formula for any of the calculated field. For example, if you want to create a sales, how much sales we have done, so we can create a calculated field, whereas we can take the profit minus the profit minus sorry the total sales minus the
Okay, not a problem. Uh, what are parameters in Tableau?
parameters is one kind of filter which is used to uh, check whether we can give an access to the end user to uh, check the without going into the filters. We can just we have an option to drag or move the trigger. This drag that drag or drop down to without moving into without going into the filters.
As you mentioned that parameters are filters, you stated, right?
No,
So,
it is not a filter. It is a different than filter. In filter, we have to go inside the filter and we can make the changes. But in parameters, if we select a parameter, we can on the right side of the canvas we can see that whether we have a option to increase or decrease by selecting that.
okay. So what is the difference then between a parameter and a filter?
Okay, so filters are directly we can select an option by keeping in the filter mark card, wherein we have an option to filter filter it. So what data we need, what we need from the data, what exactly we need, we can use filters in that, and parameters are that we keep it as we the changes we have done only in the parameter.
Actually, it's not very clear, but anyways, not a problem. Can you give the difference between tree map and heat map if you are aware of it?
Yeah, then heat map is the map which is used for on based of color and sizes, and tree map is used. It is displayed as a rectangular shape in a hierarchical form.
Both are actually represented in colors and rectangles, I guess.
Yeah, but they are parental. Tree maps are parental and hierarchical. In this uh, heat map, it is the uh, darker the color, it is the highest the profit or loss, whatever we can set is as per our convenience. And in tree map, it is of the same color, but in a different categories.
Okay. So, what are the different uh, workbooks that are available in Tableau?
Workbooks.
Mhm.
So first is worksheet, which we work on. We can have all these dimensions and measures in that. And then after that comes the dashboard. In dashboard we have we can display the things what we have created from worksheets, and then comes the story. Then we can include story, dashboards and story, just as an to make the user understand.
Okay, what is the importance of stories?
In story we can story in story we can go through the entire dashboard or entire uh, workbook that can be explained in that story with all details.
But that is already available in dashboard. Then why do we need stories for it?
Stories is to display the project what we have done, what we have worked throughout the uh, while working with uh, worksheets as well as the dashboards. So what are the essential things, what are the importance we can update in the story.
Okay, right. So, do you know how to remove duplicates in Tableau, and how will you do it?
Duplicates in Tableau. I'm sorry, I'm not able to recollect right now, but I
Okay,
have worked with that.
not a problem. So, what are the things that we use generally to improve the performance in dashboard?
So the first main thing is if we are using an extract data, that would be more helpful. We should use extract data, and whatever the unused
Why extracts are helpful?
because live data is continuously refreshing the data, and it may reduce the performance of Tableau.
Okay.
And then the other thing is we should remove the unused unused columns which are not what we are not using in creating the dashboards and in this dashboards and worksheets. So we can remove that. So performance will
So, you
improve.
want to remove the unused filters, right?
Right.
How it is going to affect the performance? If you remove it, what happens? If you don't remove it, what happens?
It takes much more time to load, while unnecessary the load comes on that Tableau.
Can you give an example with respect to filters that you have used in your project, which improve the performance?
So there was one project. So in that that was taking much more time in terms of first only name and ID were used in the sheets. So then again, there were many of the columns which we were not using to update. For example, such as AST. and other things
How do you
is
check
the
normally? Means to improve the performance, how do you check that I'm using this one and it is taking more time? If I don't use, it will take less time. How do you check? How do you make the decision?
yeah, there is an option to check whether how much time it is taking from um, how much a query is taking time to run. So there is an option we can check it.
What is that option?
Mm.
Okay. So,
To
what
check
is
it,
data? Yeah, what is data visualization? If I want you to define data visualization, how will you define data visualization?
data visualization is thing we can graphically explain the things to the uh, end users. Like we can explain a normal raw data into a graphs or a pie chart or a bar chart by with this describing them into titles as well as uh, more giving more visually that can data can be understand more visually uh, rather than numbers. For example, we have a bar chart. So in that I can see three bars. The one is the highest, so I can easily say that after saying that okay, one the furniture sales in 2017 is high. So that can be more
Mhm.
easier to understand.
Okay. What are the different custom charts that you have worked?
So bar chart is there, bar chart, pie chart, donut chart, and butterfly chart.
How have you made a donut chart?
So for preparing donut chart, we can create a normal pie chart first. So after that, we have to check. We have to use a dual axis. For that, then we can make a duplicate of the that pie chart and remove all the values that are not used for that. Then
Mhm.
we have to increase the size of the outer part and the inner. We have to reduce the part size of the inner part, and we have to we we can you can just have to select a dual axis by creating a calculated field.
Mhm. So,
And
okay. So as you mentioned, we need to use dual axis. What is dual axis? What is the function of dual axis?
dual axis we can use two measures in the same graph.
Mhm.
We can use two different measures in the same graph to show the uh, show them. For example, sales and profit we can use in the same graph to make them uh, more understandable. How much was the sales in that particular year and how much was the profit for that particular year.
Right. So, are you aware of row level security in Tableau?
Yeah, I am aware of that.
Can you please tell me how you have used or what is done, how it can be done?
Yeah, so the row level securities are the security edges. For example, we just want few of our members to uh, check that particular rules, so we can update it as according to me by going into the uh, uh, s- um, server system and create a row level security over there.
Mhm.
And we have to it is one kind of aligning the people aligning. For example, if there is one team from one region, I don't want just wanted to show that to only one particular region only, so I can use
Okay. So what is the difference between a group and a set?
yeah. So in group, we can if we are using group, so irrespective of the numbers whatever changing, it doesn't matter to it. And the set, we can update it whenever we add or remove the numbers from that.
Oh, I didn't understand the set properly. Can you please explain it?
So in sets we can update the condition. In sets we can give them condition. So in top 5 or top 10, if we are uh, reducing to it to top 5 through that radio button or that, so we can um, the sets that can be reduced or maximized. But in groups, if we are giving a particular 5, for example 5 of the um, uh, we are selecting 5 rows in a group, so it won't affect effectively.
Okay. How many tables we can join in Tableau?
We can join 32 tables in Tableau.
Are you aware of cascading filters?
Yes.
Can you tell how it is done? And if you can explain with an example, then also it's fine.
I'm sorry, I'm not able to recollect it right now, but
Okay, not a problem. The final question that I would like to ask in regards to Tableau is, have you used the concepts of bins?
yes, I have used that.
Where have you used it and what does it do?
The bins are actually used to uh, check the age of the uh, age actually. So in that we can give them condition like if we can give them a range in between from 1 to 10, 10 to 50, 15, 15 to 20. So this kind of range we can use into bins.
Okay, so the final question that I want to ask is, what is the difference between primary key and foreign key?
So primary key is the key we have in table. In a table, there is only one primary key, and foreign key is uh, primary key is
Okay, so this is the end of today's interview. Is there anything that you want to ask?
no. I just wanted to just understand what is what kind of work you do your day-to-day life that would just I was just wanted to understand.
Yeah, sure, why not? So in day-to-day life, I need to prepare, I need to interact with my team. I have client interactions a lot. So that it is met with means ensuring that the time that we then the task has to be they are registered. So so this is how I spend my day.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you once again for joining today. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.